Well, hello everyone. This is your friendly neighborhood trainer, Ket Van Tong Kam. And this training session is on the customer loyalty program. So recently I was helping out a student, a former student of mine, set up customer loyalty. And in the process, I was sort of forced to have to relearn customer loyalty once again. And so I set up my system to do some testing in order to help troubleshoot some loyalty issues that this particular student was experiencing. And ultimately, we were able to resolve his problem. And I figured that, hey, since I have my system set up already for testing and training on customer loyalty, why not create a quick little training video and share this information with the rest of you folks? So here we are. Anyway, so if you've never set up customer loyalty, hopefully this little training video will give you a head start. Okay? So what you see in front of you today is actually two systems. So I have two virtual machines here. One virtual machine will represent sort of the head office, right? And I have a menu group here set up just so you can tell this is the head office system. And I have another system here to represent my store system. Okay? So when you're first setting up customer loyalty, you need to go into the Service Manager. Okay? So let me launch Service Manager now. So it's in the Retail Pro 9 folder, and here it is. Okay, so let me log in. This sysadmin. Great. And then you need to select this service here called Retail Pro Central Service. So let me configure that. Oh, by the way, if this is not installed, all you have to do is select the install button. Actually, you know what? I'll do that right now. And let's assume you've never done this before. So let me go ahead and uninstall this. So when you come into Service Manager, if this is what it looks like here, all you have to do is select Install, and you need to point to the service itself, which is again inside the Retail Pro 9 folder, and here it is, Retail Pro or RPro Central Service.exe. Select that. Okay, so now it's been installed. Takes literally a second, and start it. Great, now that you've started it, you can configure it. Now, if you ever get this error message, something's going on. It's not able to connect to the IP address specified. And so I've already configured this. So I already had an IP address specified to my central server. And for whatever reason, it's not able to connect right now. So, and this is the IP address that I plugged in. So what I would recommend you do is this. So go back out to this screen and stop it again. Okay, uninstall it and reinstall it one more time. Okay, and start it and try to do it again. Configure. Again, we're having issues, so let me go ahead and just stop that service once again. Okay, I'm going to back out. Okay, uninstall once again and install. Start it and let's configure. So it looks like we're still having issues. So let me go ahead and just shut down Service Manager. So we'll log in. Great. And let's try this again. Configure. And looks like we're in this time. Okay, so on this screen, you need to put in the IP address of the central server. So the central server will be the machine, the computer, that's actually storing your all the data required for centralized services, right? Whether it's centralized customer lookup, centralized returns, or in this case, centralized customer loyalty. Okay? Now, I'm going to use my head office system as that central server. So let me find out its IP address. I already know this, but I just wanted to show you. So there it is, right? 1050.101.145. So I'm going to type this in, 1050.101, excuse me, 101.145. Okay, and we will test that to make sure it can connect to the server. Good, it can connect, and we'll do another test here. Done. So perfect. Everything looks good. It can connect to the head office system, right, which is acting as our central server. So I'll save this. And by the way, you should keep the port 525 or 50025. Okay. And I think it's done. I just need to back out now. Perfect. So notice it's been started, it's working, it's up and running, and it needs to be up and running all the time. Okay. So I'm going to shut this down. And I'm going to do the same thing on the store side. Okay. So I'm going to jump around a lot here between the store server and the head office server. Great. So here it is. Now I've already installed this one. So I'll just select configure, and I've already done this for you. So this on the store side now, it's also pointing to the central server, which is a head office system here. Okay. And again, you should probably do a test here, a ping. Make sure it can connect. So I'm able to connect from my store server to the head office server. Okay. And let me finish this test. Perfect. So make sure this is working, because if this is not working, then you're not able to set up. You won't be able to properly set up loyalty, okay? Because it relies on the central server. So let me back out. Okay, perfect. Now shut this down. Good. Okay, so that's step one, setting up your central services. Step two is some Retail Pro 9 system preference settings. So let me go back to the head office. I'll go to Options, System Preferences, and we'll go to, in this case, Global Preferences General. Here you go. You need to activate Central, so check this. By default, it's grayed out, okay? And I would check the customer lookup as well, okay? And prompt and perform centralized or central processing if the customer is not found locally. So just check all this, and then again, put in the IP address of the central server, okay? Which of course is on the same machine here at the head office. Now on the store side, same exact thing, okay? As you can see, identical. Okay, so the store again is pointing to the IP address of the central server, which is the head office. Okay. Now there's some more preference settings here that you need to be aware of, and I'll come back to them in a few moments. Okay, let me back out, and let me back out on the store side as well. Okay, so in addition to the system preference setting, go to workstation preferences as well. Okay, and go to the EFT section, and then down here under central customer loyalty. This used to say enable. Okay, so let me actually do it right now. See, I'm going to enable customer or central customer loyalty and put in the IP address of the central server, the port number and all that. Okay, so let me update this. Same thing on the store side, or all the stores basically, right? So EFT, there it is. I've already enabled this, so I certainly don't want to disable it. Okay, and I put in the IP address of the central server, port number, and all that. Let me update this. Done. Okay, so next step is for you to actually set up some what we call customer loyalty levels. Okay, now this is going to be important because there's some settings in system preferences that speak to customer loyalty levels, or yeah, loyalty program levels, and also it's required when you start setting up your loyalty programs. So all loyalty programs are linked to a level, right? A loyalty level. So no level, no programs. Okay, so we'll go to customer management, and again, I'm on the head office side here, and we'll go to customer loyalty. Now, I didn't state this up front, but customer loyalty is a separate purchase. So, of course, you need to be licensed to use customer loyalty. Okay, otherwise this box right here would be grayed out. Okay. Okay, perfect. So to set up new loyalty levels, just select this button here. Let me bring this over, and you would set up your levels. So you would just enter the level name and then select Add New, and it would just populate this section here. So you notice that I've already created 3 levels for you, bronze, silver, and gold. We'll keep it really, really simple. Okay, let me cancel this. So once you have that, I'm going to back out. I'm going to go back into System Preferences, and one of the settings here that you have under Local Preferences, Point of Sale, General, Loyalty, okay, first off, you need to enable loyalty on the system. Okay, same thing here at the store as well. So you need to enable loyalty. All right. But one of the settings here that I wanted to talk about was setting the default loyalty level. And I chose to choose bronze. So what this is going to do is when you create a new when you create a new customer in Retail Pro, it will automatically assign that customer a bronze loyalty level. Okay, assuming that the customer is entered into the loyalty program, right? And that's what this setting up here is speaking to. Enable customers opt-in flag prompt at POS. So what's going to happen is when you create a new customer at point of sale, right? Retail Pro is going to ask you, would you like to include this customer into the loyalty program? And if you say yes, then Retail Pro will automatically assign bronze as the loyalty level for that new customer. Okay? And the reason why I think this is important is because, if they sign in, right? If they opt to join your loyalty program and you want them to start accumulating points, right? Based on whatever loyalty program you establish, then they need to at least be in a loyalty level, right? So if they enter or if they choose to join your loyalty program, but there's no level, then they will never start accumulating points until you actually physically or manually assign them to a level, and hopefully that level has some loyalty programs linked to it, right? Okay, so just to make things simple and simpler for this demonstration, I just made sure that all my new customers who opt into my program is given a bronze level. Okay, now I did the same thing on the store side as well. Okay, and by the way, a lot of this information, a lot of these settings can be pushed down from head office down to the stores using ECM, which I'll get to in a few moments. Okay, so let me update this. So next step is to actually start creating your loyalty program or programs, right? So again, under customer management, customer loyalty. So I created one already, but all you would have to do is select new and then fill in these options here. Okay, let me cancel this and I'll show you what I've already done. So I'll just edit this one. So I have a program here called 1 point per dollar, and it's linked to the bronze loyalty level. Okay, it's starting today or roughly today, and it will end in a few months. Okay, you can make this as long as you want, but you need a date range. Now the earn type is total, so this is going to be basically based on the receipt total. Okay, and it can be receipt total with tax as well, depending on your preference setting. And when they redeem, they'll be able to redeem this again based on the total of the receipt. Okay, now multiplier is basically saying, how many points will you get per dollar use or per, whatever your currency is, per currency unit, right? So in this case, 1, which means this customer or customers who are part of my loyalty program, who are a bronze level, will get 1 point for every dollar that they spend. Okay, now when they redeem, 1 point will be only worth 1 penny. So if they have 1,000 points, then they could potentially redeem $10 worth. Okay? Now I encourage you, and we don't have time to go through all the different flavors and different types of programs you can set up. So I encourage you to actually read this document. So it's available through the document portal. It's the Retail Pro 9 Customer Loyalty documentation, and this will show you all the different programs that you can set up, all the different types of programs that you can set up. Okay, so a really good document. All right, so I have my loyalty program. So let's actually, before I do that, before I actually demonstrate this, let me show you ECM. So there is an ECM component to this, even though we're using centralized services. So I have a ECM station set up here at my head office to speak to my store. And on the flip side, I also have a ECM station set up at the store to speak to my head office. Okay, and as you can tell, if you know anything about ECM, this is set up properly and they will be able to talk to one another. Okay, so this is not an ECM training course, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Okay, just make sure they're set up properly. what's important as it relates to customer loyalty is that in your profile checklist, under customers, you want to make sure that you're processing out loyalty details. Okay, this will allow the head office, as an example, to process out and then ultimately send down, information about the loyalty programs, specifically this one right here, right? And you can send down preference information as well if you want. Okay, but you need to do this. Otherwise, your stores would not be able to see the programs that you established, say at head office. Okay? Same thing on the store side. Just to be consistent, I would establish loyalty programs as well, because maybe you're setting up loyalty programs at the stores and you want that to be sent to head office and ultimately relay to all the other stores as well. Okay? Fantastic. All right. So I have ECM set up, everything's set up. Let's now do a quick demonstration. Okay? So I'm going to go to a receipt. Again, I'm at the head office, but you can easily imagine this happening at any of my stores. But I'm going to do this at the head office, and then I'm going to send it down to the stores. Okay? So let's say I'm creating a new sales receipt. All right? And let's say I'm adding a new customer. Okay? So I hit that ellipses button. Maybe I went a little too fast there. I'll say new, and I'll choose my customer type, of course. And I'll make this just because I know my sequential count is a little low. So I'm going to make this ID 200. It's not a requirement. And then we'll put in all the relevant customer information, right? So I'm going to put in my name here. Excuse me, can't type my own last name here. And as you know, here's my email address. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Perfect. And then I'll say OK to bring this back to the sales receipt. And you'll notice a few things happening here. One, it's connecting to the central server, and two, it's now asking me if I would like to join the loyalty program, and that was based on my preference setting, right? Prompt me at point of sale. So I'll say yes. Again, it's updating the central server, and then I'm back to the receipt. Now, just to show you, because you didn't see this, I'm going to go back to that customer record. Okay, here it is. Go to Form View, and notice that Retail Pro automatically assigned this new customer to the bronze level. Okay, I'm going to back out, and I'm back to the receipt. Let me go ahead and just complete this sale. So I'll add an item, and I'm going to make it a big receipt, just so we get a whole bunch of points for Ket. Okay, so based on our program, right, 1 point for every dollar spent, Ket should receive over 4,427, well, exactly 4,427 points after the sale. Okay, so I'll go ahead and just tender this. We'll use cash because Ket has a lot of cash laying around. So, and we'll update. Again, it's updating the central server, and we're done. So let me go over to the customers module. Let's find Ket, go to Form View, and notice how many points Ket has now. So loyalty balance 4,427, which is good, right? Okay, so now let me back out to the home screen here. Let's pretend that tonight I do my normal ECM, right? My normal communications. I'll send everything down, documents and new customers and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and proc out, and my system is set up properly to send pretty much everything here. New customers and loyalty programs, loyalty details, and so on. So let's go ahead and just proc out. Perfect. And then I'll go ahead and send and receive. There it is. And this will send it over to the store. Done. So I'll just close this. At the store side, right, let's make sure that it's here. So let me go into my, this isn't a requirement, but I just want to make sure it's here. There's all the stuff that was sent over, right now. It's 11:49 here in California. So perfect. So I'll go ahead and proc that in. Again, you would be normally doing this anyway, right? Sharing customers across your subsidiary most likely. if not all your subsidiaries. Great. So at this point, let me go back into, I'm at the store now, all right? Let me go and back out here, and let me go to the customers module. There's Ket, right? And notice Ket has his points. Perfect. Let's pretend that, and then again, we're at the store here, that we make a sale for Ket. All right, so I will list Ket's last name or look him up at point of sale using his last name. Done. Notice it's communicating with the central server. It brings down my available loyalty points. Okay, so I'm going to ring up a sale here. I'll list an item and we'll tender. Okay, now I set up my system to automatically recommend that you use loyalty points if there are available loyalty points. That's why you're getting this window. Otherwise, this window would not show up. Okay, so let's say that he wants to use, or Ket wants to use 1,000 of his points, which based on that multiplier, remember, of 1 point equals $0.01, this will give me $10 worth of a discount, basically. So I'll say okay. So instead of $44, now I owe, the store $34, and I'll pay for the remainder using cash, and I will update. Okay. Now, oh, by the way, before I update, here's the loyalty. Here's what you would do if you did not, set up your system to automatically prompt the cashier. You would just press this button, right? And then you would enter that data in. Okay. So I'll go ahead and update this. And again, it's updating the central server. Done. Okay. Now, if you know anything about centralized services, you realize that it's updating the central server in between communications, right? I don't need communications to update, the central server. Right now, the central server is up to date with Ket's new balance. So if Ket walks across town to a different store, and I'm going to head back to my head office here, head office system. So if Ket walks down to a different store and tries to use his points again, it should be up to date. So again, I haven't eSIM'd. I'm going straight to another system, adding Ket to that receipt. It's checking the central server, and it's bringing over the correct loyalty points. Okay, and again, that would be the 4,420 something minus 1,000 plus any additional loyalty points that he accumulated on that last sale, right? That's why it's not a straight 1,000 minus. So again, I'll ring up a sale, and again, he's going to get a few more training credits, a few more loyalty points, all right? So on this system, notice that I didn't set up the system to prompt me, right, to use loyalty. So I have to use this button if I want to use loyalty. And let's say he wants to use this time 2,000 worth, which is $20 worth, and we'll pay the remainder in cash and update. Done. And if Ket on the same day, he's just a shopping maniac today, goes to a different store, right? Again, without communications being required, all central services, Retail Pro knows exactly what his balance is, right? So you can't use the same 4,000, points from store to store to store to store. Let me just tender this. Again, maybe I'll use all of it. Okay, perfect. I'll pay the remainder in cash and update. It's updating the central server, and we're done. So that's it. In a nutshell, that is how you set up central customer loyalty, right? So the only thing we didn't cover, of course, is all the different types of loyalty programs that you can set up, right? You can set up loyalty programs not only based on total receipt, right, but you can use it. You can base it on items being sold. You can redeem for free items, right? Things like that. So I strongly encourage you to review this document if you're interested in learning a little bit more about setting up loyalty. But in a nutshell, it's really not that difficult to set up loyalty. Okay? Oh, hopefully you learned a lot about customer loyalty. If you have any questions, don't email me. I'm kidding. You can always email me at ket@retailpro.com. Have a good day.